You know what the craziest thing about anxiety is? It lies to you. And it sounds exactly like your own voice. Don't go, you'll panic, your heart won't handle it, you're going to embarrass yourself. What if you can't leave? Just stay home today. And every single time, I believed it. Because when you're anxious, those thoughts don't feel like fear. They feel like facts. Here's the part that changed my life though. I started thinking back to every single thing anxiety had ever convinced me not to do. Driving, going out, working out, traveling, even simple things like going into a crowded store. And then I asked myself something I'd never asked before. How many times was anxiety actually right? Not once. Not one single time. Everything it told me that would happen never happened. But I kept trusting it anyways. And that's the day that I realized anxiety had been lying to me for years.
Okay, let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Anxious to Alpha, where we're building stronger minds, stronger bodies, and stronger men. Because at the end of the day, if you control your mind, you control your life. Today we're starting pillar number 6, and honestly, I think this pillar is where lives start to change. Because for the first 5 pillars, we've been preparing. We've learned how anxiety works, how we've built stronger habits, we've taken better care of our bodies, but now we're going to talk about something that's much harder. We're going to stop letting fear make our decisions. Anxiety doesn't scream, it whispers. This is something that I wish someone would have told me years ago. Anxiety usually doesn't destroy your life overnight. It whispers, skip this one, leave a little early, maybe next time, you don't really need to go. It seems harmless, right? That's exactly why it's dangerous, because every little decision feels reasonable until you look back 6 months later and realize that your life has gotten smaller. Not because life changed, but because your comfort zone did. I call this the anxiety tax. Every time that you listen to fear, it charges you something. Sometimes it's dinner with friends, sometimes it's a vacation or the gym, sometimes it's your relationship, and that can be hard. And sometimes it costs you years of your life. The worst part, it never asks for everything all at once. It takes one little piece today, another tomorrow, another next week, until one day you wake up and realize that you're paying for a life that you're not even living. And that's expensive. I genuinely believed that I was protecting myself. If something made me anxious, I'd avoid it. Makes sense. If driving makes you panic, don't drive. If restaurants make you anxious, stay at home, order out. If working out raises your heart rate, skip the gym, you don't need it. Every decision gave me immediately relief. Immediate. And that's why avoidance is so addictive, because relief feels like proof. Your brain says, see, good thing we didn't go. Except your brain doesn't learn from that. It doesn't learn that that place was actually safe. It learns that you escaped danger, and now the next time it screams even louder. One day I realized something that honestly hurt to admit. Nobody had trapped me. There wasn't a disease locking me inside. There wasn't a doctor telling me I couldn't live. There wasn't a chain around my ankle. The prison was invisible, and I built it myself. One avoided situation at a time. That realization was hard, but it was also kind of freeing, because if I built it, maybe I could be the one that tears it down too. People think that recovery starts with confidence. I don't. I think recovery starts with one decision. One small decision, one brick. Maybe it's driving around the block. Maybe it's eating at that restaurant or walking into a grocery store. Maybe it's finally booking that trip that you keep talking yourself out of. People wait until they feel ready, and I did too. But the problem with that is that confidence almost never comes before you take action. Confidence comes from, or it comes after surviving something that you thought that you couldn't. Every single exposure is another brick removed from that prison. Here's what anxiety never expected from me. It expected me to avoid, it expected me to run and to listen. But instead, I started questioning it. Not fighting it, but questioning it. Oh, you think I'm gonna panic? Maybe. But what if I don't? What if you're wrong? That question became super powerful because suddenly fear wasn't the only voice in my head anymore. Curiosity showed up. And curiosity is surprisingly difficult for anxiety to control. If I have one regret, it isn't that I developed anxiety. It isn't the panic attacks. It isn't the sleepless nights. It's the amount of life that I gave away because I believed every thought that entered in my head. Birthdays, trips, experiences, memories, moments that I'll never get back. Not because anxiety stopped me, but because I let anxiety convince me to stop myself. And I don't want that for you. I'm not asking you to change your entire life. I'm asking you to take one step. That's it. One thing anxiety has been whispering, don't do that. I want you to do it anyways. Not recklessly, not all at once, just one step. And after you do, pay attention to what happens. Did anxiety tell the truth, or did it tell you another lie? Because every time you prove it wrong, you weaken its grip on your life. I want to leave you guys with one thought. Anxiety doesn't usually steal your life. It convinces you to hand it over. One decision, one excuse, one avoided moment at a time. But here's the good news. You can take it back the exact same way. One decision, one exposure, one victory at a time. Starting today, stop asking yourself, how do I avoid feeling anxious? And start asking, what kind of life do I want to build? Because that question changes everything. If this video resonated with you, I want you to comment with one word: enough. Not because you're never going to feel anxious again, but because you're done letting anxiety decide where your life ends. Next week, we're going to be talking about something that completely changed my recovery. Why waiting to feel ready is just keeping you stuck. Until then, remember, if you control your mind, you control your life. I'll see you next week.